Good morning, my B2X family. Built to exit. Good morning. Hope you're having a great cup of coffee and a great morning as the sun comes up. It is a beautiful day here in Charleston, South Carolina. Beautiful, beautiful day. Let me get some stuff fixed up here. As usual, let me know where you're coming in from. I always like to know where our visitors are coming in from. I get so excited about Saturdays. It's an amazing week. I don't know if any of you, of the rest of you are, if the rest of you are seeing the world just speed up, like opportunities everywhere for you. It's been an amazing, literally this year, I guess, like going into the end of last year and then to the end and into this year, it's been pretty crazy. The opportunities are awesome. You know, a lot of things, when things are ebbing and flowing, there's so many ways to look at the world. And, you know, you can all look at your social media. I'll kick the show off here in a minute. I just kind of wanted to wrap for a couple minutes before we get going here. But you start to notice a pattern, right? We're a long ways into the social media world, and you know, we see patterns and we see habits, and, you know, we've learned that there's things called the block button and, you know, and all these other kind of things, but it really is nice. The people that have coalesced around me, the people that I've coalesced around, the people that I hang out with, the people that have become my family, you know, as we travel this great big world of ours, you know, being able to fill a restaurant and a table with people that I love and I know and I care about, and I've met either online and I get to know your stories. There's a vibe, you know, there's a vibe amongst us in the Built to Exit community. All business owners thinking about business, you know, some of you are thinking about starting a business. Some of you have just started your business. Some of you are, you know, in the middle stages and you're fighting those battles and getting your battle scars. And some of you are at the end of it, and we're working with you to get your business, to a place where you can exit it. Some of you are on the other side of that and now have started another business, a charity, or you're in the, you know, the next part of your life where you've completely gotten your choices back. And it's interesting. And I wanted to start it out because it's always really, really obvious. As a business owner, it seems a little bit lonely. It seems like sometimes you're by yourself and nobody really understands what you're going through. You know, in this game called owning your own business. So, you know, I wanted you to know, from me, that the surrounding yourself, you are surrounded you are surrounded by people who are going through what you're going through in this particular community. You're surrounded by people who aren't out to trash or troll or talk shit about anybody else. You're surrounded by people who genuinely want to learn from you, and want you to learn from them and want to do business with each other. I don't know why I wanted to start off today. It wasn't planned, but I wanted to start off today by just saying thank you for being part of my community. And the vibes and the comments and the support that you bring, not just to me, but to the other people. I see you all meeting up with each other. I see you guys doing deals with each other. I see you, you know, at each other's events and whatnot. And man, that just makes me feel really, really good. And, you know, there's people that are negative out there. There's people that are going to troll you. There are people that are going to say hateful things. But I just kind of wanted to say to those people, I hope that whatever drives that hate enough to drive somebody into their DM box or, you know, whatever it is, that I hope that gets resolved. You know, we got to hope the best for people. And just keep highlighting and feeding those relationships that are really feeding you. We at B2X had a great week this week. We knocked some stuff out of the park. We had some clients that knocked some stuff out of the park. We've made some major inroads into a couple of different things. We'll be announcing some of those partners. We literally, the ink is still drying on a deal that I inked last night that I can't wait to start telling everybody about. Little early now, but it was a great week. A lot of amazing people. You're amazing. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you can take your life and go recognize the amazing people in your life and give them some props and spend less time with those people, fighting with people that don't agree with you, politics, all the other stuff, and more time with the people that love you and that you love for the week. So that, I don't know. I just wanted to start the show off like that. I hope you guys are okay with that. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it today. On the subject of which we are going to be talking about. My wife has me on this little song that we always sing. So cool. All right. Well, what we're going to talk about, and again, I wrote another show. This happens quite often. I wrote another show that I'm going to do next week because it's a very powerful show. But this week it kept popping up over and over and over and over again, this idea of being built to exit. There's a lot of you that are watching the show. First off, I'm Jason Cisneros. Let me start the show the proper way, right? Welcome everybody to another episode of Built to Exit with me, your humble host, Jason Cisneros, where we talk to business owners week after week. We give you strategies. We have conversations. We talk really about falling on the one knowledge, the one piece, which when you come to that conclusion, you start building your Legos in the right way, which is everybody exits, how matters. And so we talk about, and two people who want to build to exit. Really, we're all going to exit. If you think about it in the morbid way, if you think about it in a more positive way, we're all going to exit, how matters. And so what we talk about here is crafting that ideal exit with an asset, your asset, called your business. And we have those conversations. We talk about custom tailoring because, as my mentor, Keith Cunningham, says that, business is not a bathrobe. One size does not fit all. So we have to take the information that we get out there from my show, from me, from everybody around you to say, how do I take that and custom tailor it to my exact situation? Anybody's got ChatGPT these days and can say, hey, how do I run my business better? But there's knowledge and wisdom and experience of where you are in particular and the moves that you need to make if you are headed towards the target of exiting your business, right? An exit could mean a lot of things. It could be you are looking at your business from an opportunity of, I want to keep the company, but I don't want to have to be there over and over out for the rest of my life. I want to be able to escape, go on vacation, maybe go start another business. But ultimately, there's going to be a succession as you get to the end of your career. You want to go do other things, and you want to have the company and hand it over in succession to your family, or you just want to exit it, have somebody write you a check so that you can move on to whatever's next for you. You want to bring a partner in. There's lots of this is my point. I could spend an entire show talking about the intricacies of what exit means, because it means something very different. Matter of fact, my wife and I are involved in 7 or 8 businesses right now, acquiring and exiting. And each one of them has a different exit strategy. They all have exit strategies, but they're all different. And so it comes down to custom tailoring what it is that you're working on for your particular exit. And it's called your end game. You would be shocked at how many people that I have run into on my travels around the world that are playing the game of business, their asset, this thing that makes them money, that puts a roof over their head, the thing that they took a rebellious stand against being controlled to put themselves in a place where they wanted more time and freedom, and got into it and figured out that you get less of that when you actually own your business. So it's shocking to me how few people sit down and write out what their exit is, right? What their end game is. Why are you playing this game in the first place? What is it going to buy you? Because ultimately your end game does have a price tag attached to it. There's a number, I paid off house, I paid off car, whatever it is. I won't harp too much on that because I've done entire shows and talk about it every show, this end game, because it is so crucial to your success. But I wanted to talk about this week and the conversations that I've been having. It started with a conversation that I was having on Monday with a Navy SEAL friend of mine that went through the program. And we were talking about, he also owns a business. And we were talking about business and how it related to training, et cetera, et cetera. And he went through the training, which I think is like 26 weeks. Forgive me. I've never been through. I am not a veteran. I don't know it. So I'm going to maybe tell things a little bit differently that I heard. So, but I think it's like 26 weeks you go through it and you get to the end of it and you either make it or you don't. And he went through twice and ended up making it on his third time. And we were talking about, and I know it's nothing near like being shot at or whatever, business, applying business. It's just a metaphor, right? Because a lot of us that are in business feel like we're at war all the time. And he was agreeing with me in how, war games versus war games in business. Yes, our lives are not on the line, but our financial lives are on the line. The roof that we put over our kids' head, the food that we put in our body, the things that we drive, our retirement, our hospital bills, feeding, taking care of our extended family, giving to our churches, giving to charities that we love. It certainly is a fight that we are in on a day-to-day basis. And so as we were talking about it, I was like, how devastating would it be to go through that training to be a SEAL? And we've all seen movies and I'm sure that whatever the intensity is on a movie, I'm sure it's even harder than that to be able to get through it. And, and I've served with a lot of special forces guys doing undercover rescues and the intensity at which they talk about it. But can you imagine going through that training, having that be in your heart, something that maybe even as a child you had your heart set on, and you go through it, and then at the end of it you fail. Yeah, and I just can't imagine the devastation. And then to do it again and to fail, and then to do it again that third time, it was ecstatic for him as he got accepted and was able to do his dream. But we started equating it into the title that I switched into this show, which is Don't Sell Yet. There's 3 things that you got to fix first to boost valuation, right? And the concept behind it is getting when you come to that conclusion that you're building your business to exit. It doesn't matter. Again, anybody with a high intellect is going to come to that conclusion at some point in time. You're building your business to exit, whether you're going out of business involuntarily, whether it's a dictated exit or it's a custom tailored exit where you are spending the time to get there. Everybody's going to exit. Everybody. So the faster you can come to that conclusion, the better off you're going to be. And so the idea, anybody that has sold a business, there's a period of time that's called due diligence. And that's whoever's going to buy your business. If they're smart and you're dealing with somebody that's actually got money and not some joker that just graduated some, 2-week or 1-week course on how to acquire businesses. But if you're talking to a professional, you are going to go through a period of due diligence where they or their team are going to put a microscope up into the darkest parts of your business to discover weaknesses where they should not. Their team is really set. When you come to a deal, I want to sell my business, I want to buy my business. The team is usually put in place more. If it's a 50-50, it's like a 51% to not make the deal, to find things in the deal that would be deal breakers. All the secrets, where you hid the stuff. Well, your owner expenses, the relationships to past employees, lawsuits, all of the things. When you go through due diligence, it is an incredibly invasive situation. And I've watched so many people, because they think, selling my business it's going to be a walk in the park. selling my business, I'm going to do it when the time comes. I'm going to be like, poof, oh, it's time to sell my business. That's not the case. You think about 95% of companies don't see their 10th birthday, and less than 7% ish ever sell on the other side of that. And then a huge amount, and I think it's about 50, it's over 50% of the deals that actually get made. Think about this for a second. The deals that actually get made, signed off on, and executed into for the sale. Think about this as somebody who's selling their business. You go, oh, we made the deal, everything's signed, we got on the other side of it, and then it falls apart and you end up having to take your business back. That's the equivalent. I've watched it happen. It happened to me. I've watched it happen so many times with people who are trying to shortcut the exit process. I've watched it happen so many times with people who think they know what they're doing in a sale. They trust the wrong people. I want you to start from this perspective as I get into the content here. Imagine going through all of the process that you have to go through. And I know if you've never been through due diligence, you don't know what I'm talking about until you know what I'm talking about. Just imagine, a cross between a private investigator and the IRS and who your nosiest neighbor and your biggest hater online, all combined into one process, going through everything that you've ever done in your entire life. Not a pleasure. It's not a pleasurable experience, especially if you're not ready for it. So deals fall apart. They're like, you can't go look there. Okay, cool. I'm not going to give you 5, 10, 15, $30 million for your business if I can't go look in these places. People with real money, people with real experience, they're going to want to know these things. And if they don't ask these questions, if they don't go through due diligence, that means that they're probably recent graduates of some stupid ass program about how to acquire businesses. And they'll sign anything to say, I did a deal, I got my first acquisition. They don't have the first foggiest idea how to run your business. And so it will fall apart. It will end up back in your pocket. You will never get paid the owner compensation that you said, okay, I want $3 million for my business. And they say, cool, can you carry that $3 million? And by the way, not only that, could you stay on? And by the way, I'm going to pay you out of the profits of the company still. Look, there's so many games. And the point that I want to make is that you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to get expert help in these areas. And there's a team of people that you need. I'm going to go through a breakdown in a couple of weeks of the exact team that you need and how you minimize the expenses with each part of the team that you need on your team by doing a lot of the work yourself, by educating yourself on how to build the exit. There's very few sell-side advocates out in the marketplace. That's what B2X really is. We're sell-side advocates. We want you, the business owner, who spent all the time, took all the risks, took all the hits, have all the scars, all that stuff, to be able to sit at the closing table and get the most out of it and not have that circle of people take most of the profit, and also the person who's buying your business to screw you out of those years of value that you built in your company. So long-winded way to talk about when you think if you're like, okay, I want to sell my business, just pause and let's talk a little bit about the three things that I want you to take a look at in your business. Whether you hire anybody or you don't hire anybody, but you're starting to think about the business, I want you to think about three real serious items before you ever go through the act of putting your business or go and find yourself a broker, which I hope would be us if you're interested. But before you ever do any of that, here's three things that you need to fix. Okay. Number one, you need to clean up your financials. I'm going to say a statement right here that a lot of you are going to want to write down as a business owner. Okay. You're going to want to write this statement down. And the statement is, your books are either your proof or your penalty. You're going to want to write that one down. Your books are either your proof or your penalty. I'm going to say it one more time. Okay, because we're talking about the deep dive into your books, right? Fix number one is to clean up your financials. The books are either your proof or your penalty. What do I mean by that? Most business owners treat financials like a guilt trip. They don't look at them until it's time to pay a bill. I put some notes on here, but there's a lot of that. I remember when I went back in the early days of running my business, actually for a lot of the first years of running my business, I would play this game called I would not look at my bank account because I was scared to death to see how much money was in it or not in it. And, and you had to, and every time I would like go to write a check or I would go, yeah, that's how old I am. Or give somebody a credit card. I'm like, you have that wincing look on your face. Like, I hope this is going to go through because you don't know where you're at. And I know that if you're a business owner of a guy, you've gone through this, you're running numbers mentally in your head and you do that avoidance thing of where you're not looking at the bank account. But they don't look at it until it's time to talk to a CPA or a buyer or the IRS. But here's the thing. Your financials are your scoreboard. Okay? Your financials are your scoreboard. They're not just for taxes. They're valuation. I'm going to say something here in a few weeks. We've been working on a piece of technology along with our AI division to bring a tool to all business owners. And we're going to have it built in. Again, it's technology. So we're going to say it's a couple weeks from now. It might be a month, but there's an idea. Once you come to the conclusion that you're running your business to exit, which is a brilliant thing to come to the conclusion of, now you should look at it like you're playing a game. And so what we've done is taken what I've done in my head with my own businesses. We've done with, paper and et cetera, et cetera. We're turning that into a piece of technology so that when you come to the conclusion it's that you're building to exit, you're playing almost like a video game to on your way, right? You're building your EBITDA, your all of the things I'm going to talk about here. There's ways to measure the 120 things that you have to really touch, polish, and place for the conversation that you're going to have with a potential buyer, a real buyer, somebody who's going to do real due diligence that has a real checkbook, and go from there. So they're for valuation. So the reason I said that is because the valuation is a game. There is a metric, there is measurements, there are calculations, et cetera, that go along with it. So buyers pay a premium when revenue is recurring. You write these things down. This is stuff that you're going to get paid. You're going to pay $50,000 from somebody else, or 10 or 25 or however much they're charging for what I'm getting. This show right here is an entire masterclass on how to sell your business. Okay. So revenue is recurring. Margins are high, or as high as you can get them. And I know some of you are running, volume businesses with lower margins. Costs are tracked. Owner compensation is clean. Again, Keith Cunningham called it yah-yah. Your yah-yah is as you have a business, there are ways that you can be spending money on yourself, et cetera, but you got to know the difference when you're adding it back in. It's called owner add backs, but your owner compensation needs to be clean and documented. And then there's no surprises. The biggest thing that you should go through as you're prepping your company up for sale is to think about those things that you hope nobody finds out, and realize they're going to find out. They're going to find out. They're going to find it. They're going to dig. They're going to find. A good due diligence team is going to find everything that has gone on in your business. Okay. So figure out a way to present whatever that is that you don't want anybody else to find out in the most positive light that you possibly can, by telling the truth about it and putting it out on the table, saying, hey, I really wouldn't want, you don't even have to say that. Like, here's this thing. And the more you present it in, here's this thing, right? The easier it is going to be for the person who's looking at your business to go, oh, that's a thing that happened. Here's how it was dealt with. There's the result. Does it have does it have any risk towards potential revenue, profits, sales, PR, all of the things that they're looking for? They've got to be able to make that calculation. That's why they look. That's why they dig so deep into the businesses, to make sure that none of that is going to affect and impact where your business may be a $30 million acquisition and they've got 5, 6, $10 billion in assets under management. So your little piece, they don't want it to infect the other deal. That's why they do due diligence, and you can't blame them, right? You can't blame them. So how you fix it, get an exit level financial review. Okay. Clean up your P&L, stop running your family vacations through the company credit card and calling it R&D. You can do whatever you want to with your book, but in your own mind, on your own set of books, so that you can have a clean comp conversation, you want to make sure that you're telling the truth to yourself at least. Treat your numbers like you will be audited by someone who wants to give you a check. That's the takeaway on number 1. Fix and clean up your financials and do it. Treat your numbers like you're going to be audited by somebody who wants to write you a check to buy your business, right? Number 2, systemize. And this is getting better and better and better with AI. By the way, the big announcement that I have is around AI and a partnership that we just went into on some. Anyway, I gotta wait. I'll tell you soon. It's a big deal though. So number 2, systemize like you're going to be replaced, because you will be, right? If the conclusion is everybody exits, how matters, you now come to the conclusion, I'm going to exit whether I want to or not at some point. So I might as well exit how I want to exit. And so if you're doing that, then you realize I need to systemize like I'm going to be replaced, because you know you will be. Here's what you want to write down. I'll say it a couple times. A business that depends on you is not just a business that depends on you is just a job with a costume. A business that depends on you is a job with a costume and a title. Okay. So if you're still the rainmaker, the manager, the closer, the babysitter, you don't have a business. You have a glorified, padded, maybe it's nice. It's got, but it's a padded, somebody said it online a few weeks ago that I was listening to. It's not my original thought, but it was a very, very well decorated prison cell, very well decorated prison cell. And you don't want to do that. Buyers want freedom. They're not buying your effort. They're buying a system. Okay. Buyers want freedom. Buyers are looking for repetitive cash flow. They're looking for predictable cash flow. They're looking to lower the risk as much as they possibly can. They're looking for their own freedom. They're not buying your effort. They're buying a system. So if you don't have a system, you've got nothing to sell. So how you fix it? SOPs for sales, marketing, ops, all of your departments, SOP. We have a division in our company that does nothing but write SOPs for companies that are getting prepped up for exit. KPIs tracked and understood. That's a dashboard. Everybody says KPIs, but it's the behaviors that need to be repetitive, measured, and fine-tuned so that your productivity, your profitability, et cetera, is absolutely predictable. You want a team trained to run without you. You want automations where you're still doing manual work. AI is crushing it in this area for you to become get better at your messaging, for you to do more for more customers, for you to be able to reach more customers. But here in automations where you're still doing manual work, super, super important. And you want to have a second in command who wants the reins and that you trust. Okay? A second in command that wants the reins and that you trust. Now, this is a big issue for business owners. We have this thought process in our brain. Nobody can do it like I can. If that's the case, you're always going to be needed in your business. So you've got to find somebody who may not do it as well as you, or maybe they just do it differently than you. And they have your trust so that when you do exit, either with your time or you're actually selling it to somebody else, that is part of the machinery and predictability of that go forward continuity plan for the new owner of the business. So ask yourself this question: if I disappeared for 30 days, would this company grow or collapse? If the answer isn't grow, fix it. All right. Fix number 3. Storytelling that sells your potential, not your past. The parentheses statement here. The parentheses is pro forma adjusted EBITDA. Pro forma adjusted EBITDA. Write that down and you'll understand every word that I'm about to say in this segment because it's so important. It doesn't just produce a story for the buyer. It really genuinely uncovers what you as the owner of your business may not have seen for all of these years, the absolute value that you have in your business, the absolute value of strategy. There's two sides of each business. You have to have a strategy side and you have to have an implementer side. And in those two areas, it takes two different levels of genius. This pro forma adjusted EBITDA is something that speaks in both languages, and you need both talents to be able to inform it at the highest level. So it's not just for the buyer. It is absolutely crucial for you to get the best number that you can out of your business, but it's crucial for you and your team to be looking at the business as an asset and building that valuation through each and every activity that you have, all the SOPs, all the repetitive, all the meetings, everything is structured so that you can get this third part, the pro forma adjusted EBITDA, just right. Okay. So fix number 3, storytelling that sells your potential, not your past. Buyers don't buy what you've done. They buy what they can do with it. So if you paint that picture already and you say, here, this is what we were going to do in the next 5 years anyway, I would go buy this competitor. We would probably add on this additional line. We've got these two potentials for customers that we would really, really go after once we did those two things because we'd have the capacity. You write that down. You're writing the business model for them. You're showing them what that pathway is. It's not just, hey, we did really, really great. And this is the mistake that a lot of business owners make, is that they overinflate the value of what they did to get where they are. It's important. I don't want to discount that. It is important, but it is not as important as to why you built this business. It's more important that you say, I built this business for you, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer of my business. I built it for you. I knew you were going to be coming along someday. And so I built it as if I knew you were going to be here because you did. And so you hand that over to them and say, this is what I would do. I'm telling you, if you've got a multi-billion-dollar private equity firm that's looking for businesses, and they've got 30 people that they're looking at, and that you want yours to stand out above everybody else's. And these are the ways that you can do that with your own company. You want them to go, oh, this company, we're going to take that's going to be 2 years of due diligence. This one, look, we did some digging. That's not the right one. Holy hell, this one's got a pro forma adjusted EBITDA. Oh, they went through the B2X system. Oh my gosh, they know their numbers. They're clean. They've got their deal room all clean. It's oh my God, let's go talk to these people right now. And what that'll do is put 5-10 people in line to get into a bidding war for your business. Look, speed. There's a big push out in the marketplace right now that speed is everything. You got to stay ahead of the AI and all of the speed is good when it's focused, right? It's speed and accuracy is the best portion of what you do. So if you're accurate and you're quick, great, but you don't want to speed past these things. You have people on the buy side trying to speed through things. You have people on the sell side trying to speed through things, which is why there is a very, very low business close rate and then a huge failure rate once the deal is actually closed. Take your time, build it. 3 things. This whole entire conversation is around 3 things. Every conversation I ever have is you controlling the price that you're going to sell for, the timing of which you're going to get that money, and the terms by which you're going to sell your own business. These put you in that driver's seat. Okay. So let me wrap that up. All right. So, okay. Oh, it's a good example. Okay. So buyers don't buy what you've done. They buy what they can do with it. Have you ever noticed how real estate agents stage a house with furniture it doesn't even come with, And then the best ones, like I love walking into a house with Emily and I were looking for a house a while back. And the ones that always stuck out of my mind, somebody was cooking chocolate chip cookies. Like, it was like every time they did that, I could just, you walk in, you get that smell and it's all staged and everything looks beautiful and pictures. And you just go, oh my God, I just want to literally go grab my suitcase and park my ass in this house because of the smell of the cookies and the home feeling, right? That it's unbelievable when you do that, when you walk into something like that. That's because they're selling the dream. They're selling, when Em and I were looking through these houses, they're like, they want us to see ourselves in that home so that they can sell us that particular home, right? And that's just because they're selling the dream. You need to do the same with your business. If somebody's going to buy it, you've got to sell that dream of what it's going to be able to do for them when they own your company. So you craft a story that paints the path from now to next. What's the market opportunity? What verticals haven't been tapped yet? What partnerships? Could explode your business? What's the upside they get if they buy it today? So if you don't shape that narrative, they're going to write one and it'll be about discounts and repairs. If you rush through this process, you don't have any professional help, you don't do the things that I'm talking about, it's going to be like a walk around on a used car. And this is exactly what happens. They come out and they go, I go to KBB and I looked up my car. Oh, look, I could get $18,000 for it. And you walk in there and you're going to do battle with a guy that sells 30 cars a year. And you yourself are probably going to buy 7 to 10 cars in your entire life, but you're going to get the better of them. So you come in with your KBB report and you go, I want $18,000 for my trade-in. And they go, oh, okay. Right. Another one of these people who thinks they're an expert. And so they go out and they look around your car and they say, well, what's this scratch over here, Mr. Smith? And then what these tires, the tread's not on it. What they're doing is they're devaluing your trade-in as it's called a walk around. And so you in your own mind, you're doing math in your own brain going, oh shoot, I didn't know, I forgot about that scratch. It's $17,000. Oh, I forgot about the tires. Damn it. Now it's probably going to be $15,000, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then they go through the entire walk around. The purpose is to drive down how much money they're going to give you for the trade-in. If you are unprepared in selling your business, the more time, every day that goes by that you are not in control of that transaction, the value of your business goes down. You are going to get less money at closing. They're going to have you carry more money for longer. They're going to have you stay on board for a lot longer. They're going to put contingencies on the company performing for a longer period of time, on and on and on and on. You just take all of your control, all the hard work that you'd put into your business, and you hand it over to somebody else who knows what they're doing. I prefer that you know what you're doing. All right. So those are the 3 things that I do. If you don't shape the narrative, they're going to write one. Right. So if you fix these 3 things, your valuation is going to go up. Your valuation is going to go up. Now you're not just trying to sell. You're the business. You are the business buyers are fighting to acquire. Really great position to be in, by the way. And if you're inside the B2X system, you already know that this is just the start. We build systems, assets, stories and exits that command a price, not beg for one. So stop listening to these clowns, this acquisition flood of people who are now all of a sudden these absolute clowns. It's not a field of dreams. It's capitalism, and capitalism pays the prepared. The guy with clean books, a killer team or gal, a clear system, and a damn good story. You don't just sell, you write the terms. You want freedom? Then earn your price tag. That's the game. Build to exit, play to win. Okay? So if this episode was awesome for you, good. now go do something about it. You can go to builttoexit.biz, where we have an exit readiness checklist. It's something that we put together over the last 20 years. It gives you kind of an idea about where you might be in your business. Share this episode with as many people as you can. I know that the numbers are growing, and we've got a lot of people that are starting to join us, in this run. We're not looking for millions of people. Just I want to put this out. We're not looking for millions of people. We want to help 600 people over the next 5 years for a very specific reason sell their company between $15 and $30 million. We can help you on the front end. We can get it all ready for you. We've got strategists. We have implementers. We have the brokerage at the end to help you. We've got finance along the way. We've got asset management along the way. We have business. We have the investment bankers. We have a whole swath. Everybody that you're going to need for you to be able to move your company, we have it available for you to reach out. There's some of them that we own that are B2X products, services, businesses. And then there's other people that we just trust because we've done so many acquisition deals with them. So let us know how we can help you. So share this with somebody that is thinking about buying their business, or they come to the conclusion that they want to exit their business, which you can help them come to that conclusion. Join our B2X community, be here. What happens, and I'll tell you this, one of my favorite parts of the week is when I leave this live, and it's going out to lots of different channels. When I leave here, we're live on Twitter, X, right now, and we go in there, and about 2 or 3 minutes after I shut this off and I say goodbye, we go live into the B2X after party. So you can just go to @TheJCisneros, and you'll see the after party on there. Click in there, come and have a conversation with us. Lots of business owners, graduates of the B2X system, people that are with us in it right now, some of our vendors, some of our partners, some of the people, the tax attorneys, there's a bunch of people that are in there talking about how to help each other exit, talking about their wins, having serious conversations about their business. So great group of people. Please join us. If you get a chance, it's always live from 9 a.m. Until we're done on Twitter. We do this live video, and then we go into a spaces called the B2X after party. Okay. Thank you all very, very much. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you spending the time with me. I hope you take these things, you take notes, and I hope you go execute on them. Because again, whether you ever do business with us or whether you don't, our community called the small and mid-sized business owners, 0 to 499, we are crucial. We're 60+% of the GDP, which is $17, $18 trillion, depending on the day. We do 60% of the hiring. And we don't have a coordinated, coalesced voice. That's really what B2X is about for me, is being able to make sure that we have a voice against the bullies who would take one of the biggest producers, the group of people that I resonate with. If you're a business owner, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care what color you are. I don't care your gender. I don't care your sexual preference. It doesn't matter. If we own businesses, we walk a very similar path. Less than 10% of the United States and the world in general will ever wear the moniker on our forehead called being a merchant and or a business owner. There's very few of us, because, and the ones of us that are out there, we can't not be business owners, right? Mark Anderson said that, and it just stuck in my head because it's so true. I can't not be a business owner. I can't not be adding value. I can't not be building something. I can't not be, doing the things that we do in philanthropy. I have to do what I'm doing. And if I feel that way, I know you have to feel that way. I know that there's, again, 33 million of us in the United States that feel that way at least a little bit. And we don't get much support, and we are an outcast. We are an outlier from everybody else that's just okay having a job. We're different. You're built different. We have different conversations. We have different thought processes. We take actions in different ways, and we are always imminently facing demise and bankruptcy. Always. It's just on the other side. No matter if you're doing something exactly right, something could come out of the blue and wipe you completely out, right? So that's why we have to hang together. That's it. We have to hang together to support each other, do business with each other. I'm Jason Cisneros. This has been another episode of the Built to Exit podcast. You can find it on all the major platforms. if you would want to do me a favor for all the great information that you're getting, please just share this. Follow us on one of the socials, and please share this with somebody that's a business owner, because I would love to meet you and I would love to help anybody that you've got. And so would my team. We got about 30 people on the B2X team that are custom built to serve, to help you to reach your end game. I love you all very much. Have an amazing day. Peace. We'll see you at the after party in Spaces at the Jay Cisneros on Twitter in about 3 minutes.